Thank you for joining Calvin Ministries. Today, we continue our series of Voices with Our Fathers. We're so excited that you have joined us today, and we are even more excited because we are live with one of our fathers today. And before I introduce him and move forward, I just want to say to everyone, thank you for all of your support with our series of Voices of Our Fathers. Continue to support Calvin Ministries. Find us and like us on Facebook and on YouTube. Subscribe. And also let this be a conversation, a platform, these series to be a platform for you all to start having conversations about the importance of fatherhood and or their lack of, what it means to be a father. This is the reason why we're bringing this content to you, is because we don't have an opportunity to hear from fathers as we should. You don't hear from fathers that often in society or in the body of Christ. And so this is why we're bringing this series, Voices of Our Fathers, to you. As I said, we invite you to use the content that we have produced for you to use as a platform to have a conversation, to start with someone else, whether it may be a group or a ministry, a father's ministry or a man's ministry within your church or within your community. Please use this content for that. With that being said, I'm going to introduce to you today Dwight Brown. Brother Dwight hails from, right now he lives in New Albany, Indiana. And Dwight is a really good friend of mine, and I think it's appropriate that we hear his voice of what fatherhood means and let him share with us his walk through as being a father. I'm going to introduce you again to Brother Dwight Brown and go from there.
All right. Appreciate you sharing your platform with me today.
You're welcome.
I like what you do. I really love what you do now. Keep encouraging us and inspiring us to keep striving. So.
All right.
So I'm Dwight Brown. I am a father of 4, 3 girls and a son. Christy is the oldest. Christopher, as you know, I lost my son in Afghanistan. Marcella's the third, and Mary House is the baby.
Okay.
So, what more from there?
Well, from there, I heard you talk about you lost a son, and you have my condolences. I know that's a challenge. No matter how long ago that's been, it's always a challenge with that. So can you share with us, Dwight, your journey of being a father and some of the things that you have taught your children that you don't want them to repeat and make in their lives?
Absolutely. Well, from a recovering addict's perspective, I wasn't always there. I ain't gonna front. I can't sit up here and say that I wasn't present. You know what I'm saying? So right now, I'm rebuilding my relationships with my daughters.
Okay.
It's very important that a father is present, available. He's a provider, right?
Absolutely.
Protector.
Yes, he is.
And so, my ex-wife, I have to give her a shout out. She's the one that held it down.
Okay.
Actually. So, but as a father, I'm rebuilding those relationships now. Right now, everything is we're doing well right now.
So explain that. Can you go a little deeper into rebuilding your relationships, being a recovering addict? What is that? How has that been in rebuilding that relationship? Where does transparency? How important is transparency in that process?
Well, just being available, first of all. When they call, I'm there. I'm available. I'm reliable. In the past, obviously, like I said, I was in and out of the house. We separated a lot. But rebuilding it today, like I said, I'm available. They can count on me. Like, for example, my daughter may need me next weekend, and I got to go in there and see what she needs me to do in there. And since she's in the process of moving, so I'm going to go be present, like I said, and help her out there. So and just being, like I said, available and present, listening, passing on my wisdom, to them. So that's important about even just because they're adults, they still need our input and our wisdom.
Absolutely. As a father of daughters, what would you, if you had to talk to your younger self, being a father of daughters, what would you say to your younger self um, in that aspect? What would you say to yourself coming out of recovery? If you were in recovery at maybe in your 20s or 30s, what would you say the lesson that you learned, and what would you tell yourself about that lesson you learned?
Oh, boy. Well, first of all, I had to surrender to me. I kept running it in the ditch. And then I finally got tired of being miserable. So I surrendered to that pride, the pride of, I got this, ain't nothing wrong with me. Never. So once I surrendered to that, and I got saved in my addiction.
Okay.
So when I reconnected to God and then embraced recovery and the fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous, things started getting much better. And through that process, I finally became thoroughly convinced that I knew I would never go back because of the relationships that I built, the trust that I regained in them. That was a big factor. My peace and joy. I don't want to compromise it. You know what I'm saying? So that's very important to me. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So now my kids, from their perspective, they have reconnected with me.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And so now they can pick up the phone, call me at any time. I'm ready to go and be with them whenever they need me to. You know what I'm saying? When in the past I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't present and available.
Have you been able to have that honest discussion, being a father with your children, being in addiction and coming out of addiction? Have you had those conversations?
I did, yeah.
What were they like?
Even along the way when I was in it, I was honest with them. And I was letting them know they couldn't understand as little kids.
Right.
But I was letting them know what their dad was going through. And so once they became adults, and they can wrap their head around, addiction, it's an epidemic, obviously,
Absolutely.
right? And so now they can see how their dad has transitioned and progressed.
Okay.
And they actually see the peace over me. You know what I'm saying? So God is amazing. Once I advocated, myself all the time, surrender to God and recovery.
Do you think coming out of recovery and being in recovery now, do you think that more fathers who've had the opportunity to come out of recovery should have that transparency with their children? Or even if they don't have children, with those in the community, how would you be able to, what would you say to younger men or just men in general who are fathers who are coming out of what you've been through?
Well, first of all, stay plugged in to the fellowship. First of all, you have to do that. Addiction is too big for us. Okay. We need each other. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So you have to stay connected to that higher power, which I call Jesus Christ.
Okay.
That's what works for me.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So I would say to a young dad, even if he didn't have kids, he's still rebuilding trust in the community. Somebody's always watching you.
Ooh, that's
you
good.
See what I'm saying?
That's
so you want to be that leader. That's what you're going to turn out. You want to be a leader in your community, and they're going to be looking to you. There's, like they said, it takes a village. There's always going to be kids that look at us, you understand, and see how we're walking, right?
Absolutely. So have you had the opportunity to, Dwight, other than your children, have you had an opportunity to be that voice in your community?
Absolutely. Just right here in New Albany.
Okay.
You see the kids, and it's kind of sad that you see a kid, maybe elementary, out here running around, and they should be in the house, and we can't really talk to them the way we got it. Right. Like in our neighborhood, our neighbors would tell that boy get home
Right.
and get your butt on that porch before those street lights come on, right? Like, that's how we got it. But, I would, look around for a parent, you know what I'm saying? And some of them I haven't even seen before. Okay. And I would just say, whose kid is that? He's out here, getting dusk dark. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, but just the way I carry myself.
Okay. So your way of giving back to the community is living your life by an example.
Exactly. Living my life by example, and just living an upright life and doing the right thing. Right. People see that. Yeah.
So your other communities, I know you're not originally from New Albany. How are you affecting your other community that you're originally from?
Same way.
Same way.
Yeah, they see me like my family back home. They see, bright eyes, and you know what I'm saying? They see that, like I said before, I'm present, I'm available. I communicate differently. Okay. When, back then, I was just all about what can I get out of you? Okay. Now I want to sit and talk to you. Right. Right. Yeah. So just like when I met you, you know what I'm saying? No. That's a reward of recovery, meeting people like you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. You've been a blessing as well. Now, since you're in recovery, what are your goals as a father? I've heard you say clearly that you want to be available. It's important for you to keep your word and make sure that you're present. Those are wonderful goals and things to do. But beyond that, what other goals would you like to see yourself succeed in as a father?
As a father, I would like to. Well, actually, I've been thinking about. Been talking about me moving back closer to them. Okay. Really, because I would like to be closer to my grandsons. I would like to be closer to actually, saying that, my son, he left 2 daughters here. Okay. He left 2 daughters when he passed away, and he had them right before he went into the service. His wife, she got pregnant right before he went to the service. So he has 2 teenage daughters here. Okay. And hopefully, with this platform, they may see this because I haven't talked to them in a long time. I would love to, reestablish contact with them. Sure. Granddad loves you. He misses you. And and so I just want to be available to them. Around them, kids, they need their grandparents too.
They absolutely. So, I heard you mention about grandsons. How old are your grandsons?
Zion is 11, and Knowledge, my oldest daughter, named her son Knowledge. Okay. I said, you can put a lot of pressure on that boy, right? Right. But no, that's a great name. And so they live out in California, though, so I don't get a chance to see them that often. But I love them. Just as much as I love them all.
So if you had to speak to Knowledge, right now as a male and a grandfather, being in recovery, because he's at that age, they start looking at
feeling themselves,
right, and that's the time when children start really experimenting. Right. So what would you say to him? What would you say to him if you found out, or if you thought that he was, or even what would you say? What advice would you give him to prevent him?
Stay focused on your education. That's what I'd say to them already. Stay focused on your education. Whatever your dreams and goals are, just keep your focus there, especially in the classroom. You know what I'm saying? So. Because it's nothing going on out here. Right. Take it from me, from experience. Right. It ain't nothing going on out there in the streets. So just stay focused on your education, and you'll be able to navigate your way as you get older. Then you can choose what you want to do when you take care of that class. Right. You can choose whatever you want, career you want to take. Within that conversation that you would have with them, how important do you think it is for you to stress the relationship with Jesus? On your spiritual relationship? Oh, that's our foundation. Absolutely. I would tell them, carry the Lord with you. First of all, accept what he did for us on Calvary, right? That grace and that mercy. Right. And that's a great foundation right there, because life is going to blindside you with stuff.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to go through some things, and you're going to need the Lord, man.
Right.
And that's what I would say to them. That's how I talk to them. You know, so, and they'll experience that in their own way as they go.
Do you have those conversations with your daughter as a father?
Yeah, and especially I like to say to her to keep them in the church and keep them involved. In the church and read some words to them.
Oh, that's
study
good.
some words with them. You know,
that is very good.
It keeps our kid grounded. You know,
Yes.
my mom did me that way too. So, and my ex-wife, she did our kids that way. Kept them in church.
Okay. Your mom's still living, right?
She is.
Okay. And I'm quite sure that she's proud of your progress. And
absolutely.
she'd love to see that.
I can fellowship with my mother now.
Good.
You know, I fellowship with my mother, and that's one of the great rewards of recovery too. I call her and talk to her. And she started giving me her testimony, I give her mine.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a wonderful blessing of recovery. It's just just a brand new life compared to where I was. So, and it's been 4 years now, so you know I know. I'll never look back.
That's that is a milestone, going on a milestone.
Yeah, 4.5 actually. June of 22 would be 5 years.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
The way you're paving it forward and being transparent, not just with your children, but even here on this platform as we discuss it. I'm quite sure there will be other young men and young ladies too that will hear this and see this, and will be able to. Some may be able to identify.
Absolutely.
If they're in that situation, or if they know somebody, perhaps a father may be in that situation.
And that's what it's all about, just inspiring somebody else to. And like I said, surrender, because it's just too big for us. That's what I would say to anybody. And I have before, you know, like people hanging out in front of stores and stuff. And I don't want to hit them over the head with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I just say to them that, hey man, it's too big for us. That's what I learned. And you obviously know it's a fatal disease. So, you know, something I'd say, surrender to that pride.
It's interesting that you said it's a fatal disease, because some people don't look at it as a disease. They look at it, it's just an addiction. So elaborate some more on why you say it's a disease.
Well, it's a disease of the mind.
Okay.
And for me, I can speak for myself. I was escaping my reality and I thought that I had to have it because I didn't want to face my reality, which was the irresponsibility, the shame, and the guilt of the irresponsibility of not being present and available, right?
Okay.
So,
yes. Okay.
And then all of a sudden you get into that trap, if you will. You're so ashamed, you just want to keep escaping, but you just have to surrender to it. And once you go through that process of treatment and recovery, and then you just start building your confidence in yourself and the Lord, and you can handle anything in life that comes at you, from there.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Dwight, we have enjoyed thoroughly your voice as a father.
Thank you.
We continue to pray peace and blessings over you in your journey. We thank you for allowing yourself to be transparent and to share
Thank you.
Your viewpoint about fatherhood and the importance of it, and even the pitfalls that come along with life.
Sure.
We really appreciate it. Continue to support Kava Ministries, Voices of Our Fathers. This is a series. We'll continue the series through the month of October. Please allow this platform, use it. We hope that as you use it, it will bring on intelligent conversation, perhaps resolve some issues that need to be resolved, and most of all, bring each other together. You can follow us on YouTube, subscribe and like us. You'll get notified every time we are on, whether it's Voices of Our Fathers or other things that we have. And you can also find us on Facebook. This has been Kava Ministries. Peace and blessings to you all. We'll see you next week.